Hello and welcome back to Secret Passions. Take a deep breath with me. Breathe in calm, breathe out doubt. I want you to remember one simple thing today. You are enough, exactly as you are. Now, let's talk about desire. Do you really believe a woman is going to tell you clearly that she wants you? Do you think she sent a text that says, "Come over right now"? Absolutely not. A woman who is genuinely attracted to you won't reveal it with words. She speaks with her body, her gaze, her silence, and the invisible tension in the room. But to see this, you can't be a reactive person. You must be an attentive, present, and rock-solid individual. In this deep dive, I am going to reveal the 6 incredibly subtle signs a woman sends when she is secretly craving intimacy with you. Ignore these, and you'll miss incredible opportunities. Master them, and you become that rare man who can read the unspoken language of attraction. And stick with me until the very end, because I'll share a powerful piece of wisdom for maintaining your self-mastery even when the air is thick with desire. Are you ready for this level of awareness? Then listen closely. She's testing your frame. The art of gentle provocation. A woman who desires a man but doesn't want to show her hand too quickly will often use a timeless tool. Soft provocation. She pokes, she challenges, she playfully pretends to be unimpressed. Yet everything about her says the opposite. She might drop a seemingly harsh comment. "You're a bit too sure of yourself. I don't really like arrogant guys." But she stays close. She keeps smiling. Her body subtly leans toward you. Do you know why she does this? She's testing your masculine energy. She wants to see if you collapse at the first challenge. If you get defensive, or if you become nervous and try to justify yourself, she's checking if you can hold your posture, stay calm, steady, and present. Women aren't looking for a conflict. They want to feel that you are unshakable. They want to feel you are a rock. The Stoic insight. The ancient philosopher Epictetus said, "What upsets men are not things themselves, but their judgments about these things." When a woman tests you, it's not a rejection, it's a mirror. It's an opportunity for her to see who you are when the masks drop. So don't defend. Don't get angry. Don't over-explain. Stay calm. Stay centered. She needs to feel that you don't need her validation to exist. And that is precisely when she starts to truly desire you. Physical signs to watch for: when she provokes you but secretly wants you. Observe these details. She maintains prolonged eye contact after delivering the playful jab. She makes small, nervous adjustments touching her neck, her jewelry, or her hair. She laughs right after the provocation to ease the tension she just created. She physically moves closer to you, even while her words are pushing you away. A man who pays attention doesn't take everything literally. He looks beyond the words. She won't tell you with clear sentences, but she will test you to see if you are that grounded man who remains aligned, regardless of the tension. She searches for your gaze, then flees, the fragile look of desire. This is one of the most subtle and telling signs. A woman who desires you will look at you more often than she intends, but she won't hold the gaze for long. Why? Because the eyes are a powerful weapon, and when desire is present, she can't sustain the electrical tension for too long. The magic of the gaze. The gaze is an ancient language, far older than words. It reveals the invisible. It says, "I see you," and it silently asks, "Do you see me too?" When she desires you, she looks when she thinks you aren't watching. The moment you meet her gaze, she looks away. This is not shame. It's tension. It's the electric surge of something she can't fully control. Imagine you're in a group. She's speaking to someone else, but her eyes drift back to you. You meet her look. She holds it for a split second, then drops her eyes, offers a half smile, plays with her glass, or touches her mouth. This is a signal. Her gaze may flee, but her body remains oriented toward you. She's on alert, unconsciously opening up to your presence. A critical distinction. Don't mistake a hard, persistent, unwavering gaze for desire. That look, if neutral or closed off, can often be control, judgment, or distance. The gaze of desire is fragile. It advances, then retreats. It seeks you out, then escapes. That's the shining moment of weakness. You must capture the tension between fear and attraction. The power of stillness. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Observe without judging, contemplate without desiring, and you will see the soul behind the appearances." When she sends that fleeting gaze, she's throwing you a lifeline. But if you leap onto it like an overly eager man, you shatter the moment. Be calm. Slow down. Simply notice. A centered man doesn't react. He notices. He feels. And then he chooses his response. If she looks at you, breaks eye contact, and returns to you 30 seconds later, she is in your mind. She's fighting between control and craving. She wants to know if you are aware of your own magnetic power. If you remain anchored, stable, and confident, you become truly irresistible. The silent technique? When you feel her observing you, meet her eyes and say nothing. Hold the gaze for just 1 second longer than she does. Then, slowly drop your eyes, not out of awkwardness, but out of control. It's a nonverbal statement. I saw you, and I know you saw me, but I don't need to chase. I am eerie. This microvent creates a massive impact in her unconscious, showing her that you are present to yourself, not consumed by desire. She finds excuses to touch you. The intentional accident. The body always speaks the truth. When a woman feels a physical pull toward you, she looks for any reason to make contact, but she'll never do it directly. She'll do it subtly, disguising the action as friendliness, clumsiness, or a playful gesture. She might touch your arm while laughing. She might brush an imaginary wrinkle off your shirt. She might gently push you and say, "You're silly." And that contact lasts a half-second longer than necessary. This isn't random. It's instinct. It's desire in disguise. The language of touch. You must understand that for a woman, touching a man is an intimate act. They never do it without an unconscious reason. And the more unjustified the touch, the more it means she is wrestling with her craving. She wants to feel your energy. She wants to see if your body attracts her as much as your mind does. The trap to avoid. Seneca said, "The wise man is content to feel without rushing forward." When a woman touches you, the immediate trap is to see it as a total green light and become overly excited, nervous, or clingy. But the real power lies in not reacting. Remain anchored, steady, and self-assured, as if you already know she wants you, as if you are neither surprised nor starved for affection. This is how she senses that you are a man, not a boy. The ultimate test, sometimes she'll go to great lengths just to create contact. She might try to wipe an imaginary spot off your chest or collar. You know, there's nothing there. She knows it too. But she makes the gesture anyway. Why? Because her body is asking your presence for permission to get closer, and your reaction will determine everything. If you smile calmly, meeting her eyes without flinching, she feels safe to take the next step. You don't tremble. You master the tension. She subtly sexualizes the conversation, the invitation to dance. Do you think she's just making a joke? Do you believe she's merely open-minded? In reality, she is gauging your level of sexual energy and maturity. When a woman is drawn to you, she begins to introduce sexual elements into your exchange, but very subtly with humor. With finesse to test the waters and see if you catch the underlying meaning. She might say things like, "Your deep voice is dangerous for girls," or "I've never understood why men love that," or "Do you know how to give a proper massage?" Like, really well. Said like this, it sounds innocent. But it is not trivial. She would never take this risk with a man she didn't find attractive. The mistake of the impatient man? Many men fall into the trap here. They think it's a total green light, and they drop vulgar jokes or start sexualizing the discussion overtly. That's when she shuts down. What she's seeking is not a man who is excited like a teenager. It's a man who can talk about sexuality without losing his balance. She wants to feel that sex is not a taboo for you, but that it's also not your obsession. Controlled sexual energy, this is where your masculine power comes into play. When she launches a double entendre, she observes your reaction. If you blush, stammer, or avoid the topic, she sees you as unprepared. If you grasp the tension, smile silently, and move on calmly, she sees you as the master of your own domain. The Stoic doesn't deny sexuality. He channelizes it. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, there is no shame in what nature produces. It is not the impulse one should fear, but the loss of mastery. A strong man recognizes the fire, but does not throw himself into it like a slave. The subtext, when she sexualizes the conversation, she is sending a coded message. I want to feel if you can handle my feminine energy without becoming nervous. It's an invitation to a dance, not a race. If you master this dance, you enter a zone of psychological intimacy where few men gain access. Key cues to notice. She effortlessly slips sexual subjects into the discussion for no clear reason. She immediately looks at you afterward to see your reaction. She laughs or slightly changes her tone after testing you. She returns to these themes multiple times in the conversation. She's not looking for a crude response. She wants to feel that you are a complete, anchored man, aware, sensual, but not dominated by your desire. If you stay calm, straight, and relaxed, she begins to fantasize about your presence. Not just your body, she becomes nervous, yet remains close. The paradox of presence. There are gestures the body simply cannot hide. You can lie with your mouth and your words, but your body always betrays your true emotion. And when a woman feels desired, there is one thing she cannot stop, a subtle physical nervousness combined with an intense urge to stay near you. You must capture this paradox. The body never lies. She starts talking faster. She laughs a little too loudly. She puts her hair behind her ear 3 times a minute. She looks around aimlessly. She stumbles over her words, and yet she doesn't move away. She stays. She might even try to move slightly closer. This is not mere it is an internal tug-of-war between desire and apprehension. Calmness amidst desire. Epictetus said, "It is not what happens that troubles you, but the way you receive it." When a woman becomes nervous in your presence, it's a message, but you must receive it with stillness. You must not amplify her tension with your own. You must be the pillar, the rock. In that nervousness, she's looking for proof that you can manage her emotion, that you are stable enough to absorb her unease. The critical misstep, the mistake, is believing her nervousness is a barrier and thinking, "She's uncomfortable, I should back off." No. If she's uncomfortable and stays close, she wants you to subtly take the lead. She's testing you. She wants to see if you will stabilize the tension or flee. Tranquil masculine presence. When you sense this, do a simple thing. Slow down. Speak less quickly. Look at her gently, without judgment. Breathe deeply. Create a pause in the conversation. Allow a silence. And watch what she does in that vacuum. Often, she'll laugh, move closer, or talk about something random just to fill the space. These are powerful signs. She is operating from emotion, and you are operating from mastery. The rarest sign. There is a point where she is almost silent, but she doesn't leave. She lingers. She looks at her feet. She stalls. She wants you to make a move. But she will never tell you, because if you take the lead without her having to speak, you become unforgettable. She speaks of her fantasies without stating them directly. The power of detour. She won't say, "I want you. I dream of being with you." No, a woman who desires you will tell you without telling you. She will hide the desire in a story, a memory, an anecdote, a movie she watched, or a completely crazy friend who did something daring. But the real message is meant for you. The language of detours. She talks about a dream she had, a fantasy she heard somewhere, a sexy moment in a series, and then adds a phrase like, "I don't know why I'm telling you this," or "Isn't that strange?" No, it's not strange. It's incredibly intentional. She wants to allow you into her erotic imagination without exposing herself. She wants to see how you react, if you can listen without judgment, and most importantly, if you understand what she is not saying, a test for a strong man. When she shares these things, she's looking for your calm. She wants to see if you are the man with whom she can be truly open, without you becoming awkward, rushed, or heavy. For a woman, sharing her sexual imagination is more intimate than Andre. She only does this with a man in whom she senses depth. The elegant silence, Seneca wrote, "Speech should be measured, but silence should be full of meaning." When a woman tells you a veiled fantasy, you don't need to react strongly. You don't need to overbid or prove how open-minded you are. You simply need to truly listen with a half smile, with a calm presence, as if you understand everything without saying a word to many. That is true masculine power. How do you know it was for you? She tells you a fantasy and immediately looks at you. She observes your reaction. She might follow up with another story in the same vein. Crucially, she doesn't tell this type of confidence to others. She reserves it for one man, the one she secretly desires. When this kind of conversation happens, do not interrupt her. Do not make it about yourself. Let her unfold her inner world and show her through your calmness that you can embrace her whole depth without judgment, without rushing. Because if she feels she can open her inner world to you, she will soon give you her body. Take a moment to internalize what you've learned. The greatest power a man can possess is his inner stability. Remember this: I am calm. I am present. I read the invisible. Thank you for joining me on Secret Passions. If you found this guide illuminating and felt that electric shift in your awareness, please like this video. It's how we know we're giving you the content you crave. Subscribe to Secret Passions and ring that notification bell to join our community of grounded, powerful men who choose to master themselves and their relationships. Now here is your personalized call to action. Tell me in the comments below, which of the 6 signs have you missed the most in the past? And which sign will you master starting today? Share your commitment. Let's talk about it. Until next time, stay anchored, stay observant, and always trust the language of silence.